What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Athletes and Assets podcast with your host, Noah Lack. I bring on your favorite athletes to chat about entrepreneurship. Today, we had Aljamain Sterling, three-time undisputed UFC champion. And man, we had a little bit to drink on the podcast because Aljamain is the founder of Funk Harbor Rum, a Jamaican rum brand owned by him that he's building on the side when he's not chasing the next title. We chat about his journey, the ups and downs, the keys to marketing, and more. If you can, please like and subscribe if you're listening on YouTube and Spotify, and leave us a comment on YouTube. Let's get right into it. All right, we're here with Aljamain Sterling. Aljo, man, thanks so much for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is sweet, man. And we got the Funk Harbor over here. I know we're going to chat about it a little bit, but I saw you have the cups, but I think I can do a little bit better. Hold on one sec. I can do a little bit better. 1 second. Come on, now support your fellow entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Support your fellow entrepreneurs. All right.
Man.
Come on now. Listen, man, we got the.
When'd you get that?
Today.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I can't.
You know what's so funny? Did you go to Lee's?
I did go to Lee's.
I stopped by a new location that's bringing it in.
Yeah.
And he said, someone just came by here asking for that same brand. I was like, yeah, I don't think it was the brand rep. And I was like, but I told him the next nearest place to go get it.
No way, that was me.
That's hilarious.
That's crazy. Was it a bald guy?
Yeah. I was like, it's probably just a customer. I don't know.
That's so funny. So what were you doing there?
Well, I was going to meet the store manager. That's actually so funny. I was literally, that's where I picked up these cups from.
I guess we can start off with...
I say we start with the white first.
Okay, and break it down here. What do we have here, like with the two flavors?
So the white rum... Normally, Jamaican rum is known for like its funky profile. It's like the aroma that it gives off, and it's usually overproof. One of the main staples is Ray and Nephew overproof rum, which is about 63%. I think it actually is 63%. It's a really strong bite. So unless you have like that taste, that palate for it, then it could be, I don't say off-putting, but not the drink of choice for most people when they go for a rum on vacation. But if you want something that's straight to the point, Ray and Nephew is that. So with this, we came in at 43%. We didn't want to make it too strong. We didn't want it to be overbearing, but we wanted to have similarities to those notes that Jamaican rum is known for, especially the white rum.
Yeah.
So that to me is like my kicker. So you get that one. That one's gonna give you a nice little bite, a nice little buzz, little bites, aromas of banana. I think you'll enjoy this one. Okay. I'll let you be the judge.
Yeah.
Let's do the plastic cups for this one.
Okay. All right.
So we can use the brown, which is the aged rum.
Yeah, for the other ones. That's smart. We can do that. And
I won't kill you. I'll give you a little.
Yeah, no worries. Little teaser.
I don't know if you can smell it. I can smell it right as soon as you pop open the glass.
Yes, sir. I can absolutely smell that. And you have Jamaican heritage. So your family is from Jamaica.
First generation American, Jamaican American.
Yeah. Well, hey, cheers.
Cheers. So what we do, this is how I do it. I swirl it around. This is the wrong glass. This one is empty.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're trying to avoid your rum.
Let's try that again.
All right, let's
swirl it around.
Number two. All right, cheers.
You swirl it. This way you can smell everything. Hopefully catch some of the notes. And then when you take a sip, you kind of let it sit. You don't gotta swish it around, but you let it sit this way. Your tongue like absorbs all the flavors.
Mm-hmm. Bomba clot! Damn!
Not bad, right?
It's good.
And most people they don't drink rum, so the only time they'll actually have is like on vacation and things like that.
Yeah.
So I want to make it more of a cultural thing. Like you go on vacation, you have fun, you drink rum.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you want to have fun when you're in the States or your home country?
Yeah.
And that's what we want to do. We want to change that mindset on rum, that it's not just a vacation drink, it's a year-round drink. You got your sippers, and you got stuff like this with your everyday mixers and things like that. So yeah.
Is rum is rum the sort of spirit of choice in Jamaica? Like, why was it rum for you versus tequila or vodka? Was that a cultural thing?
Well, I went through the list of spirits, and the one that stuck out to me the most after doing research on them, how they're made and things like that, where rum is primarily produced, it's mostly the Caribbean.
Okay.
If you want to get like good rum, sugarcane, molasses. So for me, my parents are Jamaican. I like drinking Jamaican rum when I'm on vacation. That's what we drink. So it just made sense.
Yeah.
And of course, tequila is oversaturated. Everyone's got a tequila, them and their mother. So we want to come out with something different, something that could be in its own lane, its different space. And so far, so good. Anyone who's tried it so far, oh, I'm not a rum drinker. I'll give this a shot. And they're like, oh, that's actually a lot better than what I imagined it was going to taste like.
Yeah.
So that's, we've been having a lot of positive response with this.
Do you like to drink it straight up or mix it with something else?
See, I'm a little bit older now, so I drink just about everything straight.
Yeah.
At least on the rocks or neat.
Right.
Just because
cleaner,
headaches. And the good thing about this, no additives, no preservatives, no food colorings. It's vegan friendly, so no animal products whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it's sugarcane based.
I wanted to bring this out. Now I already opened it because I thought we were going to get to it on this bottle. I wasn't sure what you were bringing or not, but I always come prepared over here on A&A. Walk me through the packaging because it's really sleek, man. I won't read the whole paragraphs, but it's awesome stuff, man. Here's the packaging. That's what I wanted to show.
They did a really good job with that.
Who's they? Who'd you work with?
So these are my former partners. Sometimes things happen in business, but former partners. But they did a really good job with the packaging. So credit where credit is due for sure. Just different paths on where we were going. And so far, so good. But is that an alert? We got an Amber Alert? Yeah, we got an Amber Alert. Stolen car.
Stolen rum.
Yeah. Oh, but I thought they did a very good job of bringing everything together. We wanted the color profiles of what we were thinking, and navy blue is like kind of my thing for this. I just think it gives it a nice, unique and sophisticated look.
I agree. I like the darker navy, very clean, like very vintage looking. I
like gold.
You like gold? I
love gold.
Who doesn't like gold? Especially when you win, 3 championships.
As you can see, I like gold.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, those are real VVS. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm in Ocho Rios, by the beach.
How you been?
I think once when I was younger.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
Ocho's nice.
Yeah.
Mobay, Negro, they're all fun places, man.
Yeah. So you sat down with a team and walked through.
Yeah, we went through like the labeling, what we wanted the color profiles to look like, and the fonts and everything. Like this white rum, we went through 9 different tasting profiles to get to one that I was like, this is the one in comparison to the other Jamaican rums and other rums from other countries of what we wanted to be similar to. But we started from scratch. We're not doing any white labeling, just putting our name on the label. So a lot of pride in joy in this project, man. It's a passion project for me. And I know a lot of these celebrities, they come in, they kind of just slap their name on something versus going through the mud and actually building it from the ground up. But we built this from the ground up. Even with the age room, this one's aged 2 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And we went through, I think, 18 or 24. I always forget. I think it was 24 bottles that they sent that we had to go try. And this
18,
was
24 bottles?
Like different tasting profiles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they'll send like samples because they bottle it in the Netherlands and then they ship it here. But it's Jamaican rum. It's one of the largest rum distilleries in the world, if not the largest.
Yeah.
So the master blender used a couple of different select distilleries, made a couple of different blends, shipped it over. And
this is great, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And this was the one that was all Jamaican because I wanted it to be all Jamaican before we come out with other Caribbean blends with, different rums from different countries and then kind of combine it and make it like a Jamaican, Bahamas.
Yeah, it makes
like
sense. You're Jamaican. Your debut spirit shouldn't be like a Bahamian baller. It shouldn't be a Puerto Rico princess.
Exactly. So we wanted it to be something good.
And for you, is this your first entrepreneurial endeavor?
I would say so.
Okay.
I mean, I've got my SAG card for acting. So I'm actually in 2 movies and a couple of like featured background roles and a couple of TV shows, Law and Order, Organized Crime.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
The movie Impulse and the Impulse movie kind of came out of nowhere. One of my friends in the nightlife, he just gave me an opportunity. He couldn't make it, so he was like, do you want to fill in? I was like, hell yeah, I want to fill in. So I got to go fly out to Cali, fill in for that. So we made that happen, and I was able to put my cousin in the movie as well, which this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And it's on like Amazon and everything, so it's out. So it's actually cool to see that come to life.
Yeah.
And then the other movie is like a feel-good movie called Grace Point about a kid going through rehab, and he goes through a whole trials and tribulation and gets to the other side, which is nice. So And then, of course, I have my real estate license.
Yeah. But this seems like the first sort of like, business where it's yours, you have to go through the whole, you're essentially, I don't know if you're technically CEO, but you co-founded it. So you have.
I am the owner.
Yes, you are the owner.
I'm not a face on the brand. I am the actual owner, proud owner of this.
That's a crazy feeling, isn't it?
But it's a lot of work. Entrepreneurs have to work hard. It is a lot of work, but you're proud of the work that you're doing and you're okay with getting out of bed to make it happen.
What is something that you didn't realize you're going to work as hard as you've worked on it?
I guess getting it into different states, because there's a lot of red tape, a lot of legal lines that you have to make sure you're crossing them out and doing everything on the up and up. So you'd be federally compliant. This way you're not getting, I don't want to say punished, but like suspended or anything like that, having your license pulled or anything like that. So there's a lot of legal red tape that I had to learn about the hard way. Not too bad, like from a financial standpoint.
Yeah.
But just in terms of time, like you think you're going to get something out by X amount of time, but then there's a whole bunch of different like waiting periods where you have to do everything and make sure you're compliant first before you can get it up and running. And then of course, getting into retails, because you're probably familiar with the prohibition era that we had when we grew up in this country. And since then, they still have the same 3-tier system in place. So legally, I'll take your glass too.
Yeah.
I'm technically a supplier. And then I would have to sell to a distributor. And then the distributor would sell to a retailer, which would be like Lee's.
Right.
So that distributor...
Lee's is a liquor store in Vegas, for those, if you guys didn't catch on earlier.
Yeah, so if those people would now have to sell to the customers. So in order for the customer to get the product, they can't legally get it from me. They would have to go through the retailer who gets it from the distributor who gets it from me. So you jump through all these hoops to do everything the right way and the up and up, even to get samples.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like pulling teeth to try to make sure I could get it delivered. There's a lot of technical things you have to sort through in the liquor space.
I mean, and also on a macro level, it's like you want to move as fast as possible, but I'm sure, like sometimes I got to control my tantrums. Like, man, like I wish they would approve stuff faster. I wish we could get moving faster.
What are they doing? when people have to just say yes or no, it's like, what are you actually doing?
Yeah.
Like that is literally your job. So why does things take so long you look at the application and you say yes or no?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Has that frustrated you?
Oh, it's very frustrating.
Yeah.
Very frustrating. Because I'm from New York. I work different, man. I have the New York state of mind. Not even like bragging about that, but I'm like, so when someone's dragging their feet and they're taking too long, I'm just like, dude, I don't think this partnership is going to actually work out.
Yeah.
Because we're on 2 different frequencies of how we're working. I mentioned to you earlier, I used to edit my own podcast, film it, edit it, do my own clips, post them out. Now I have somebody on board helping me.
That's pretty baller as a fellow podcaster. That's a lot.
And even in college, when I first started editing, I used to make music videos for my brother who makes music. He's done some of my walkout songs to date. So it's that's just the way I operate. I'm just always doing something, my own vlogs, editing my own vlogs and things like that. And again, if you're not working at the rate that I'm working at, then
probably won't work with Alja. Yeah, probably won't work.
Probably won't work out. It won't be too great of a fit.
Well, hey, cheers to that, man. With the brown joint.
Cheers. Now this one.
Yeah, talk about it.
Aged 2 to 5 years. Select different Jamaican rum distilleries for this blend. We use X bourbon cask for this. So you'll get the notes of that. And it's a nice sipper. Good mixer. I always make my espresso martinis with this. It actually hits really nice. You'll be very surprised. Like,
the little espresso martini joint. That's, yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. And I like whiskey. When I was growing up, I was big on vodka. Then I moved to tequila. Then I moved to...
I was kidding. Yeah. I just wanted to use all the Jamaican sayings with you, bro. Like that's all I want to do. But this is good. Oh man.
But yeah, I drink a lot of. My fiance and I would drink a lot of bourbon, whiskeys, whiskey, ginger ale, old fashions. So this gives you a nice bite of that.
Yeah.
And
is this manufactured in Jamaica? Like, walk me through that. Who makes this? Like, where is it made?
From a technicality standpoint, the rum distillery is in the Netherlands.
Okay.
They label it and bottle it there.
Okay.
And then ship it here. But the rum is aged and everything in Jamaica, shipped over.
Got it. So it goes from Jamaica to the Netherlands to get, turned from.
Yeah, but these guys have rum from all over the country. They're like a conglomerate.
Okay.
They have rum from Barbados. They have rum from Trinidad.
You're talking about the Netherlands.
The Netherlands.
That they bring.
This distillery. So
Got it.
It's one of the biggest. I think the largest actually. I just don't want to get misquoted.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So they're the powerhouses in this space. So a lot of the Jamaican distilleries down in Jamaica, they ship them over to the Netherlands.
And did you have to did you have to search where, where's my rum going to get made? Like, did you have to go through a search process?
So I went down to Worthy Park Distillery and I wanted to do a partnership with them and have them create the rum for me because they're obviously in Jamaica. We went on a 2-week trip down there after one of my fights and everything was good, but then it became a situation where we would be white labeling the product.
Yeah.
Which is not really what I want to do. I want to have something that would be more so my own, something a little bit different. So we're not like selling the same exact thing to customers, because I think everyone could kind of coexist in the same world. I think there's enough space for everyone to live and compete. So in order for us to do that, we would have to do a blend. So for me to connect the dots, it's like, well, why not go to the head guy who makes it for everybody? They don't make it for Jamaica. They have their own distillery, but they're purchasers from these distilleries down in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
So once they get it over there, they could do the master blending and give us the tasting profiles and come up with something that's going to be unique.
And then the glasses and design. How did you work through that? Like, where is that made?
So I want to do something really crazy, but we were told from bartenders and multiple restaurants that you want to be bartender friendly. And that's why you have this shape. It's still a classic.
You want to make a giant spaceship looking bottle so the bartender would have to grab it?
Like a big fist. I'm like, they're like, that's not ideal for behind the bar when we're working at a high volume and need to grab something like this.
You grab it fast.
Yeah, they could just grab the head, boom, pour it, put it back.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
I'm like, okay, let's make it practical for everyone. And then if we make something super high end, like this is a limited edition to brown rum. We only made about 6,000 bottles. So
yeah,
better get it while it's hot.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we also numbered it number 1 because we're going to be making other editions like that. We will have like a mainstay limited edition, not mainstay edition as well, and some different seasonal things down the road.
What's your let's chat relaxing vibe, right? Like post fight, you just got a dub. For you in a space to enjoy something like this. Are we partying with the boys? Are we on the beach with our significant other? Is it the staycation? Like, what is your ideal vibe when you have this in your hand?
Ideal vibe. We were just in Thailand. We brought these out with us and did some samplings with some places over there, and they loved the product. And we were on the beach, hanging out, drinking. So that's ideal, but it's not after every fight I'm going to go travel all the way to Thailand and Bali. So
not every trip's the hangover part 2 in Bangkok.
Right.
No.
So with that said, I guess just hanging out with the friends after you have a tough training camp, getting to unwind, celebrate with something that you created. I don't think there's any better feeling, and everyone actually likes the product. It's not like you're drinking crap and forcing everyone to drink something that's not good.
It makes sense to me, but it's also, I feel like in a sense, it's ironic that a lot of fighters now are coming out with their alcohol and spirits brand. I imagine when you're in training camp leading up to a huge fight, you're not drinking.
But you imagine wrong.
Okay. Never mind.
Funny story about that. So I love telling this story because I used to be one of those guys like the Tyson, Ali, Frazier's, super strict, no sex, no alcohol, no chasing girls at night, that type of thing.
And you're like, that helps me. That's why I'm a 3-time champ. What are you talking about?
I was on that wave as an amateur fighter. And then I met a guy in college my freshman year named John Jones. He's the reason I got started in the sport. He invited me down to his gym where he would originally train at. And I remember he was like in his transition of leaving the gym. He would still come back to New York every now and then. But he'll pop in and I would see him at the bars. I would see him at the Ithaca Commons and he's getting drinks for everybody. He's fighting in like a week. I think I had a fight in like 5.5, maybe 6 weeks.
Like, dude, what are you doing?
He's getting everyone shots.
Yeah.
Everyone drinks and stuff like that. And I'm like, he's asking me, like, you want to drink? I'm like, no, I got to fight in like 5.5 weeks. But then I'm like, wait, you're fighting like next week though. And you're not just having one, you're having a lot. Like, I'm just like, am I missing something here?
Yeah.
So then I started experimenting. And from there, I went from like 8 weeks cold turkey. Then I went 7 weeks. I don't have like 1 or 2. And then, or I'll go have a night out. And then I would do 5 weeks. And then I was like, okay, let's try 4. I was like, okay, let's try 2. And then
it kept going down.
Yeah. And then I would have one the night before the fight. And I was like, no, this doesn't.
It didn't impact your performance?
No.
Conditioning?
Nope.
Motor skills?
Nope.
Not even the motor skills?
Nope. I feel like I slept even better. I have a tough time sleeping, especially once I sign the contract. I'm being haunted by my opponent, possible ways I could lose the fight, trying to figure out how to win the fight. And you're just constantly up at night thinking about all these things. That's how much it means to me. I don't know about other fighters. I can't speak for them. But I always have these haunting dreams like that. And you have to always figure out how to overturn it. Imagine for 8 weeks doing that over and over. It's a vicious cycle. But then if I feel like I'm in a good enough shape, after sparring, like I did 3 hard rounds, or when I was in the champion, we'd do 5 rounds. If I could get through that and at a good pace where I'm comfortable, I'm like, I think I deserve a reward where I have a nightcap or 2. And then I would wake up. I would actually go to sleep like the best, like light, unbothered, more relaxed, more calm, wake up. And I'm just like, all right, I'm ready to attack the day.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
So this helps you with your mental process.
Yeah. For me, for not everybody, everyone's different, right? So if you feel like it's going to be something in the back of your mind in the middle of the fight where you're like, I shouldn't have had that drink, then that was the way I thought about it. I was like, well, if one drink changes the entire outcome of an entire training camp, then maybe I didn't deserve to win to begin with.
Mm.
And I also had this conversation with Mighty Mouse, and he was saying the same thing. He was like, he used to go like cold with everything. And he was like, now I enjoy like, medicinal marijuana, and I'll have a drink. I'm like, yo, dude, we only live once. Like, for you to wait till you retire to enjoy your life after you're doing all these things, I'm like, what's the fun of it? There's no, and then you get the other people who've never achieved or tried to do anything like this, and they'll be very judgmental, like, well, you have the rest of your life to party and do X, Y, and Z. This is the only time you can do it. I'm like, well, it's not going to be as fun when I'm no longer competing. Like, this is when it's fun. I can actually hang out with people. They actually appreciate what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's way more memorable for me.
Uh-huh.
And I'm speaking for myself. Like I said, everyone's different, but I'm enjoying the fruits of my labor.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. I definitely think some people would disagree with you or not do what you're doing, but to each their own.
They see me and they're like, you're crazy. I'm like, well, I guess I've been crazy for the past 14 years of my career. So you tell me if you would like to trade places.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
no doubt. No doubt. Who knew this was a helping hand to the cause?
Yeah. And everything in moderation, right? You're not going off the bandwagon. I don't do any other like hardcore drugs or anything like that. I drink, I dabble with psilocybin, and occasionally do edibles. So I think I have a very good grasp on the vices.
Yeah,
so to speak. So
you ever see a fighter who looks so nervous or tense and think, damn, if he had a glass of Funk Harbor, bro,
you just need a drink, bro.
He'd get a belt by now.
Yeah, loosen up a little bit.
That's a marketing campaign right there. Hey, bro, you need a drink.
Actually, I like where your head's at.
Come on now, this is what we do here. So good feedback so far from the brand.
I think so, relatively good. I don't think we've really had any negative feedback from anyone. I mean, some people would say they like the age more than the white because the age is a bit smoother.
This one, right?
Yeah,
brown colored.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's like the only thing. But other than that, no negative feedback. Thank God. But I'm happy about that. So
yeah,
it's just good to know. There's some other brands out there. I've tried it and it's just not
it.
It's just not as good. Like celebrity stuff, but. Again, everyone's doing their own thing. I'm not trying to be judgmental, and I just want to make sure, like, when we came out with this, the product was actually good and it spoke for itself.
Yeah,
So
how big do you think it can become? Like, what do you want out of this?
My partners and I have talked about this, and we would be very content with a fraction of the success of a guy like Conor McGregor when he sold, right?
Yeah,
for Proper 12. But our product is I would humbly say I think it's just better.
You think
It's
your
just
shit is better?
It's
Talk
just
your
better, bro.
shit.
It's
Talk
just
your
better, man. I'm like, and if that can sell like that, I'm just like, dude,
Come on.
what are we talking about? It's a
How
lot of
much
work.
do you think is it the marketing, and how much do you think is a true product taste? When we talk about sales, okay?
So, I think marketing is key.
Yeah. Can you share some insights maybe on this marketing stuff you've learned early on? I saw the morning routine, by the way.
Yeah. So my camera guy actually helped.
Cut to that.
He came up with that idea. He was like, yo, you got to do this now. It's trending. I was like, you know, it's so funny. I thought about it, but I was like, it's going to be a little cheesy. But then he was like, no, you should do it.
That was
like
great.
Right now. I was like, all right. And it was like right before training. I was supposed to be cornering Ode this weekend. I was like late to the practice to shoot that video. So it was kind of funny. But yeah, the marketing side is definitely a challenge because I don't have a marketing degree. I don't understand it. I don't know how much money you should allocate to marketing. And when someone's handling that, I'm so hands-on with everything, and that's probably a partial problem of mine, that it's hard for me to relinquish the reins, not knowing if the person doing it is going to do as good of a job as me if I knew what I was doing.
Struggling with delegation.
Yes.
You're like, I want to do this myself, but I think maybe the better thing is to actually let my team handle it. But
Yeah.
you want it to be perfect.
Yes. But we have a small team. So a lot of it, we're looking to eventually expand and bring on some right strategical partners, not just anyone just because they have money. We want to bring in people that make sense, that can actually help grow the brand and know what they're actually doing from a marketing standpoint. Money is great, but then if you got me at the helm dictating the marketing, I don't think I'm the guy you should have handling all that. You know, we need some proper people in place to take care of those things. And like we were talking about before, I have such a hustler's mindset that I'm willing to put in the extra hours. But again, are those hours being wisely used to do something like that when someone else could come in and do it? But I just want to know the salary we're going to pay you, you're actually earning your keep.
Sure.
You know? So that's the tough part. Because sometimes people look at celebrities and it's self-funded. I don't have no other funding other than my own blood, sweat, and tears from fighting.
Yeah.
Brain cell surgeries, like you name it. So with that said, it would be very painful for me to have someone come on board who kind of drags their feet and takes advantage of, oh, well, he's a celebrity, he's got it. I'm like, no, I'm starting from the ground up. This is like, the only influence that I have is that people are probably more willing to have a conversation because of what I've done in the space. So I will definitely say that's been a little bit easier. But at the end of the day, still getting people to convert and actually get the sales through the doors, full transparency, that's the hardest part. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you have the access. You can open doors that other people can't, but you still have to deliver on the brand, the execution, the product. I don't have a deep dive for you in terms of proper 12s marketing, but I've seen all the McGregor commercials, how much they've pushed that out. I mean, do you take inspiration for some of the things they've done and you can apply it to yourself? I know you said your shit's better, but like, maybe there's some things that you can take to apply to Funk Harbor that can lead to an acquisition similar.
Yeah, but the other part of it is because he's done and accomplished all the things that he has accomplished, it makes it that much easier when people see him, whatever he's attached to is a little bit easier of a sell.
I don't disagree with that. I also think though he's definitely put a team around him to amplify him.
Yeah.
And that is obviously it helps, but you have that ability as well, I think, because of what your accomplishments and who you are. So I will say there is some executional credit that they have
for sure
that have done.
I like the Steve Jobs ones that he did with the Apple when they came out with the proper 12 Apple flavor profile.
Mm-hmm.
And he came out with the suit and he did like the whole Steve Jobs thing. And at the end, he took a bite of an apple. I was like, this is actually brilliant.
Yeah.
It was like a 2-minute piece, but it was actually really good. Like well put together. Like stuff like that is, I think, no matter if it's him or somebody else, I think it's a really cool selling point and commercial to actually captivate the attention of just consumers in general.
If you made a Funk Harbor commercial today and you could have all the resources, the creativity, the budget, what would you put together? What would you want to put together?
Cigars, men in suits, hot chicks, just fun. Just anything fun, like beach vibes, fun in the club, celebrating, big wins.
Yeah.
Just big moments, anything for like nice occasions, So maybe you graduate or something, you pop a bottle or something like that. You celebrate with loved ones and family, a birthday, milestones and things like that. I won't say cars because then it almost associates it indirectly with like drinking and driving. So that's not good.
No.
That's not good. We don't do that. Don't you do that.
I got a better idea. Man, I got something for you.
Listen, I'm all ears, man.
I got something for you. Okay, check this out. Beautiful.
Wait, before you go.
Okay.
How you feel?
I'm feeling great. I'm on a vibe right now. I'm on a vibe right now. I'm starting
This is it's sneaky, man.
Yeah.
It's sneaky.
No, I feel great. But hear me out. Hear me out. I got something for you.
You might be hired after this. I don't know.
Beautiful day, warm day. You have a family on the beach. They're white, very pasty skin, a little bit overweight. Onesies, a lot of chest hair. People are just lounging on the beach. They have like a lemonade in the water. Okay, we're in Jamaica. All right. All of a sudden, there's this giant conga line that's coming in from the distance, and it's like you and like another Jamaican guy with like speakers blasting, everyone having a good time, and it's just like giant conga line. And then the camera's facing towards the beach, and you see the couples and the family sort of walk off with the conga line and just start dancing down the beach. And this is like giant conga line that goes in the distance, and boom, scene. That's it. Funk Harbor Rum, right there. That's the vibe you want, right? You take anyone who doesn't understand the island vibes, you bring it to them, they're hooked.
Yes, 100%. I like that. I don't know how easy that would be to coordinate, like where it would actually find a Congo line in Jamaica, but
I mean, that's why it's paid actors. Let's assume resources and things aren't an issue. That's
okay.
what I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
So I'm using my imagination here. But man, let's get them in the Congo line, bro. Funk Harbor. Get yours today. Bomba
That would be so funny. That would actually be hilarious.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool though.
This is why I love chatting about sort of the CPG space, because man, branding and marketing is so important.
Oh,
it's
100%.
It's like, what is the picture you're painting in your consumer's mind when they're drinking this, Funk Harbor? Like, what do they associate that with? And I think that's something that a lot of early stage CPG founders tinker with early on. It's like, what is the image? What is the emotion? I feel like people say marketing is like emotion. What is the emotion you want to give people when they're drinking this? And it can't be getting punched in the face, because that's not a good feeling.
And my partner always says, we want to be fun in the sun. That's what we want people to understand when they drink this. And year-round fun in the sun. It doesn't have to be only on vacation.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing. Because for some reason, I don't know what it is, but we, just doing the deep dive on the logistics and just the demographics and what sells the most out of all the spirits. This is a very fast growing area and underserved. And I think because most of the stuff that you see is like Malibu, Captain Morgan, Bacardi.
Right.
And Bacardi has like such an unfair advantage because they can make their product for so cheap. But then I'm like, you can make your product for so cheap. Why not actually make the product just a little bit better?
Yeah.
Than what you're actually putting in the bottle? Because I do like their Bacardi 8-year though. So I will be fair. I'm always trying to be fair, not trying to just crap on people. But the white, it's like.
Yeah. Now you're not feeling it. What does the UFC think of your brand? I know the UFC has like Howler Head.
Yeah.
Right. But
I think they might be shifting with that.
Okay.
But it could be an opportunity, Dana, for us to bring in some Funk Harbor Rum.
Come on, Dana. Let's get get a Funk Harbor at the next title fight. I mean,
we talked about it.
Yeah.
But
it's not it's never a no, it's a not yet.
No, it's not even that. We just because we're so early in our career, we would love to do it, but just the opportunity to jump on it, it's just not financially feasible. Yeah. Again, because for me, I'm the one that's self-funding everything. So,
right. So the marketing piece, you gotta. Yeah.
So to do it would be great. It'd be great exposure, but then I'm also putting myself in a serious hole. Not hole, but I worked very, very hard for a one-off event. If it was multiple, then I think there would be a little bit more.
Oh, I mean, some long-term for sure.
Yeah. This was just a one-off.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, that doesn't make sense for a one-off.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where I'm at. I think once we slowly start building up, I would eventually like to have the logo in the octagon and be able to compete, and I could take someone down, slam them, like, oh, that's the logo right there. So that would be kind of cool.
Armbar submission, point to the logo. That's tough.
That would be cold.
That's tough.
That would be cold.
That'd be the first of its kind.
Yes.
What do you think is the biggest challenge that you face being an entrepreneur?
I guess just trying to know what strategy is the right strategy. And because we're such a small team, I mean, it's literally like 4 of us. Mm-hmm. You know, and I'm the bulk owner of the company. So trying to figure out what strategical moves we need to make and having enough time in the day to actually implement those strategies. Because my main job is my main passion, which is, you know, competing and hopefully getting another chance to fight for UFC Gold one more time before I retire. It's not the easiest to navigate those hours between these hours. Like literally as soon as I finish at the gym or in the morning before I go to the gym, I'm hitting emails, I'm sending out text messages, I'm following up with people.
Yeah.
I go to the gym, get something to eat. Then
it gets so blurred, doesn't it?
You almost forget what day is what because you've been doing so much, and it's not the easiest thing. But again, you're hoping for that light at the end of the tunnel, and for this thing, this plant that you know, the seed that you planted grows into something beautiful that you can be like proud of, you know. So, and that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, I can say, you know, I gave it a hell of a run, and we had some good drinks that we were able to have.
Hey, I feel great. So, can't take that away. I feel great right now. I love what you do on your YouTube channel. I think we see a lot of athletes that we chat with realize finally that they're their own channel.
Yeah.
And so they can create their own media brand voice, and it leads them to business opportunities, media opportunities, all the above. And what I love about your channel is you're super analytical on other fights and other fighters. And so if you had some time, man, I would love to cover real quick UFC 314 and give your thoughts. Just give your thoughts. And I'll give you, we can go just cover 3 of them, right? So the first one, Bryce Mitchell versus Gene Silva.
Oof. You know, so this is the thing. Once you become the champ, it becomes really difficult to be, what's the correct word? It becomes difficult to be, I guess impartial. I've known Bryce since, I think, 2016 when he came to New York to come train with us. Stayed at the house with us while I was living with Ally Quinta. Only person to take Khabib to a decision, you know, in a title fight. You know, so with that said, good friend of mine. But then I've also met Gene Silva. I've never trained with him, but I've met Gene Silva at the PI. He wanted to get some training in with me, but I'm conflicted in this weird paradox where I'm like, well, it's a little awkward if I help you train against the guy that I'm friends with.
Do you face those dilemmas often? I feel like, yeah, I feel like you do.
Living here in Vegas, you meet everybody. And of course, like being the former champ, I forget, especially when I was a champ, people would always just come up to me and I would always get like, what's going on? Because I'm also, you know, the way I grew up in New York, you're very like on edge about anyone just kind of rolling up on you. But then I forget like, oh yeah, you're the champ. And they've been watching you since 2014 probably. So yeah. They just know who I am now. So it gets a little bit awkward because even when I do my podcast, I try to be as respectful as I can when I'm giving like critique or review on a recap and things like that. But all that to go back to say, it puts me in these weird situations where I'm talking about some of these fights because I'm going to see Gene Silva again. And of course, I'm going to see Bryce Mitchell again. Yeah. But of course, Bryce is my guy. I would like to see him get the win. But it's a very difficult matchup. Gene Silva's he's on fire right now. And I think if he catches Bryce, it's a bad night for Bryce. And I think Bryce would also agree with that, right? That's just being straight up honest. And if you're not that honest with yourself in your own assessments, I don't think you're going to go that far. If you're super delusional and just downplay all your opponent's strengths, that's a recipe for disaster. You're not going to go very far in your career, in my personal opinion. Mm-hmm. And I've learned that from my own experiences. Okay. Now, if Bryce can take him down early in the first round and slow him down, get him tired, let Gene chase him a little bit, make him miss. I don't think Gene has fought a guy like Bryce Mitchell who was on the back foot a lot. Bryce is not going to be the guy who's going to be in your face pushing forward so you could counter-strike. Gene Silva is a very good counter-striker. Can Gene, and I have a hard time chasing Bryce around and actually putting my hands on him cleanly because he's got that different type of style where it's almost like a retreating and then you walk into something. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a very interesting fight. I think if Bryce can get him down, he could possibly even submit him. Okay. One thing I will say, if Gene Silva gets hit and he goes to high-five you, don't do it. Because every time someone does that with him, he knocks him out like 30 seconds later. Just don't do it. Okay. Copy that. Take notes. Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. great matchup, crossroads fight for both guys. Or I should say for Michael Chandler, because if he doesn't win this, then he's at a position where he's maybe got one more because those title shot opportunities are gone. Of course, you could be in the right place at the right time, but if he loses to Paddy Pimblett, he's going to be really far removed from a title shot opportunity, especially after losing to Charles Oliveira again, and then now losing to Paddy. But it's a fun matchup, striker versus grappler. I think Paddy shows vulnerability to getting hit by that left hook a lot, leaves his chin up in the air, but he's got really good front leg kicks. His lead leg kick is really good. Great grappling. His striking is not the greatest, but if he can close the gap and take you down, that's his world. And Chandler has shown vulnerability on the ground when it comes to being submitted or just being controlled.
After you exit this thing, dude, you could be an analyst for sure. The way you describe the game, I think you're.
Thank you. I appreciate.
I feel like I'm talking to Daniel Cormier or somebody.
Yeah, it's a very this is because Chandler is such a phenomenal athlete, but I think we've seen time and time again his fight IQ is almost non-existent.
Yeah,
he has like one speed. Yeah, he could be a world champ yesterday, but the way he fights, the way he approaches these fights, I don't understand it. You would think that he's just a bar fighter because of the way he just goes for broke. And it seems like to me as an outsider watching, as a professional athlete, I'm thinking to myself, like, what part of this was any type of game plan strategy that you guys worked for the last 8 to 12 weeks? And it never makes any sense to me. But as he says, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So
he's living what he's saying.
Yeah, and so I can
practicing what he preaches.
I can respect it in that regard. It makes for entertaining fights. But if you want to become a world champion, you got to have some type of fight IQ in there. Yeah. And I think Paddy's there to win. He's not there to just say, he's not there to say, I'm putting on a show, where I think Chandler has to recognize that. I would like to see Chandler win. I think he got an unfair shake with the Conor McGregor things, waiting for 2 years of his prime, not getting the fight, the big money fight that they've been building up for so long.
Yeah.
And if he were to lose this, that would be such a shitty just downfall of his kind of ending towards his career.
For sure. I appreciate that. The last one I got for you, we got the main event, featherweight. Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. Man, what do you think, man?
So I trained with both these guys. Volkanovski, when I was just in Thailand, was out there for a month, and he randomly just showed up. I didn't even know he was coming. Got to train with him a couple times, sparred twice, did a couple grapple rounds, 2 different days. And if I had known he was coming, I would have gotten much better shape. So it wasn't great. But as the weeks went on and I was able to get in better shape, I got to give him some better looks. So with that said, I trained with Diego as well. We were both coming off of a shoulder injury, doing PT around the same time. And we trained, and lack of better words, I wasn't impressed. And respectfully, this is a great opportunity for Diego Lopez to just capitalize on an opportunity that maybe he does not quite deserve over the guy who actually beat him, who's getting passed over for this title shot. But he's a fan favorite, fun fight style. He goes berserker in the first 1 to 2 rounds. But if he can't get Volkanovski out of there in rounds 1 or 2, it's going to be a long night for him. He struggles when guys take him down. We saw that in the Mozart fight. I saw that in training with him. And it's not like, I know some people might say, oh, why are you talking about training? I'm like, dude, I might fight this guy. And we're kind of like this anyway, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
If we fight, we fight. So just with that said, I think the ground game is going to be a very dangerous place for him to be with a guy like Volkanovski. Mind you, when I was training with Volk, he was about 8 or 9 weeks out from the fight. I would say maybe 8.5. The guy was doing 6 rounds of sparring straight.
Beast. Volk's a beast.
And I'm confused. I'm like, bro, you're peaked already. This is like what the end of your fight camp should look like, you know? You want to peak at the right time. I even said to him, I was like, you don't think you're going to like pull back at some point, right?
You hand him one of these?
He was like, I'm not drinking right now. I'm like, bro, you could drink as much as you want right now, the type of shape that you're in. But we did drink with his coaches. And they enjoyed the product too.
Okay, good.
And we actually did the Cooking with Vogue episode as well too.
Nice. Well, glad you got it through customs.
Yeah.
In Thailand. Yeah.
But other than that, I think the stylistic approach, Diego Lopez is more of a go for broke kind of guy in the early goings of the fight. You saw that with Brian Ortega. You saw that with Sadiq Youssef. You saw that with Pat Sabatini. He catches guys early, then he puts them away. He's a very dangerous guy, fan-friendly style. But also, you see he gets tired. And if he gets tired with a guy like Volkanovski, it could look similar to the Yair Rodriguez fight, Brian Ortega fight, where it starts close in the beginning, obviously like any fight, right? Both guys are fresh, but Volk is still here and you're kind of down here. And then once he starts to take you down, he ground and pounds you. But the scary part is Volk's chin gone from those 2 knockout losses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he took a year off from the Ilya Topuria fight. He probably should have done that after the head kick knockout from Islam Makhachev. And we spoke about this as well. Not like he should have taken time off, but I think that's the big question mark.
Yeah.
Because it's a great opportunity for, again, Diego Lopez to capitalize on. And that's, just telling it straight how it is.
Always fascinating hearing another champ's perspective on what else is going on. So I appreciate that.
Yes, for sure.
Appreciate you breaking that down, man. Before we get out of here, man, shifting gears back to sort of your overall success in the octagon, outside the octagon. What do you want to be in 5 years in the UFC? What do you want to be in fighting? What do you want to be in 5 years with the brand?
I haven't actually wrote out my new 5-year goal.
Do you write your goals?
I do, like every year.
At the beginning of the year or something?
Yeah. That New Year's resolution stuff that people
you get on that way
for 4 days.
Yeah. Facts.
I've actually posted them a few times, like in the past few years, and one of them was like to become a UFC champ, X amount of money, blah blah blah, and like it was kind of cool to see how some of those came to fruition. But the next 5 years, I haven't really thought about it. I would like to become a household name, at least in terms of brand recognition. We got the gold award for the aged rum from Taste of the Industry, which is one of the most prestigious awards you can get.
Right on.
And for us to get gold it says a lot about the quality of the product. So I would like for this to become a household name at some point in the next 5 years. And I would like for my career to say 2 divisional champion and hopefully at least a 1-time defending at 145 as well.
There you go. Aljo, man. Appreciate you joining the pod. It's been another good episode of the Athletes and Assets podcast with your host, Noah Lack, joined by 3-time undisputed champion, Aljamain Sterling, one of the biggest legends in UFC history. Aljo, captain of Funk Harbor Rum. This is amazing. Cheers, brother. Thank you so much.
Cheers.